what are some of the matchups you're looking forward to? I put out a poll on X, and the poll was, if Nebraska comes out, wins the toss, who do you want to come out and set the tone? Do you want the offense come out, score? Do you want the defense to come out and, get a stop? And actually, believe it or not, 68% voted offense. So we got, never mind me, Skurs by 17. I like that prediction a lot. So actually, I think Brian just texted me. So hold on. Un momento, por favor. Let me see. All right. So while he's figuring that out, let's just go ahead and dive into a little bit of our preview here. Nebraska 41, Cincinnati 14, Nebraska 40, 10 good guys. I'm going to go ahead and come out with the Blackshirts first. So let me go ahead and just go ahead and give you all the list of Blackshirts here as they were announced yesterday. Got Brian hopping back in here. What's up, man?
Not much. I went outside, so I apologize in advance, everyone. Cicadas are really prominent right now. They're really loud, so I hope it's not bothering anybody.
It'll be all right. Make it work. It's not that bad, actually. So,
okay.
Going over the Blackshirts right now, just run down the list. We got Cam Lynn, Hart, Elijah Judy, Javen Wright, Dason McCullough, Marquez Watson, Trent Sierra Wright, Marcus Buford, Malcolm Hartzog, Deshaun Singleton, and Andrew Marshall. So there was talk about Cam getting it, Williams Wannery not having it. Of course, I think they talked about this. More people are going to get him as the season goes along. I guess that leads us to believe that maybe Cam is the de facto starter right now. Again, it's an or on the depth chart. So, and a lot of times when there's an or on the depth chart, sometimes, let's see, if they're going by, I don't know. I know when there's an or on the depth chart, in a lot of cases in alphabetical order, it's in no particular order, but I have no idea if that checks out in this case. But,
offensive tackle, it did not.
Okay, cool.
For sure on that offensive tackle.
Cool. Got to go to the store and buy my spread items. Oh, by the way, I saw earlier that they got there was some Culver's thing, if something about a Minnesota game that you get free cheese curds on something.
Interesting.
I'll send that over to you. So, what's your take on the team and taking a bus down to Arrowhead?
It's a 2.5 hour drive. I literally make it. Well, before I moved to Texas, I literally drive it every single weekend, going to Lincoln for games. It's an easy drive, guys. Not a big deal.
Yeah. Not that bad of a drive. And again, I'm thinking I've seen it's 60,000 Husker fans to about 6,000 Kansas City fans expected to be there. And Nebraska getting a lot of love, man, coming into the season. Have you noticed that?
I have. I don't know if you saw that CBS thing they did with Raiola and Deshaun and all them.
All of it. Yeah, I didn't get to watch all of it, but I watched part of it.
And that is something that didn't happen last year. It probably, if the hype around Nebraska isn't somewhat believed nationally, that interview, whatever you want to call it, probably doesn't happen, in my opinion, because that's something you typically see with a school that's, going 9-3, 10-2, 11-1. So I think nationally, people are probably hitting that over on the 7.5 right now.
It's that point where, they know that Nebraska is a hot topic right now, and they know that whether the comments are pro-Nebraska or anti-Nebraska, that they're going to get the conversation stirred up. So, you get Raiola and those guys on there, and again, I saw a video of the Barstool guys yesterday, like basically arguing about Nebraska being their sleeper pick for the playoff. They're calling them a scheduled team, but even then, calling us a scheduled team is a compliment, because that's something that nobody would have been willing to call us in previous years. Nobody would have ever called us a scheduled team because we couldn't handle business on the schedule. So now that we're even being seen as that coming into the season, in a way, it's almost like I really wish the outside opinion was that Nebraska is going to kind of be what it was last year, so that way everybody can't come in and all of a sudden be like, I told you. You know what I'm saying? Right before the season start, it just seems like everybody's kind of hopping on that wagon of it being the popular pick.
Yeah, and you watch, if I say this, carefully, if Nebraska really takes care of business on Thursday, you're going to see that bandwagon just pick up steam, I think, because there's a lot of people that you see that with a 6.5 point spread, like 80% of the money's on Nebraska, but that line has been holding steady the entire time, which tells me that they're probably thinking it's going to be at 6.5, 4 point game, maybe closer game. If Nebraska blows the doors off, that frickin' train is going to be rolling.
Yeah, I think the line might move maybe closer to 7 by kickoff, maybe. But no line movement yet. So it'll be interesting to see. But I do think if there's any movement, it's going to be in Nebraska's favor because the majority of the bets are coming out of Nebraska. But yeah, so it's interesting to say the least. Because again, it was like this off season when Nebraska was making moves. It's like we didn't hear a lot of the hype outside of the normal stuff we would hear from the normal guys. You got your JD Piquel, who's usually pretty complimentary of Nebraska each and every year.
Mm-hmm.
You got your guys like Joe Klatt. Joe Klatt tends to be pretty favorable in his opinions about Nebraska. But those guys were typically the ones. But then as the seasons come along, it's just like all this influx at the end is just kind of like a lot of Nebraska conversation. So
I think last year Joe Klatt had us in. What do you say going into Ohio State? Nebraska would be 7-0 or something like that.
That was kind of the popular conversation around that early slate. I always knew we were going to slip one of them up. I thought it was going to be Rutgers. I'd predicted it'd be Rutgers, but yeah. So like that was now, I think that was the common. I think Joe Klatt's one of those that just likes traditional power, and I think he wants Nebraska to be back. I really think a lot of it is just like he really desires that Nebraska to be back, even though he was a Colorado quarterback. But yeah, I think it's where a lot of it comes from. So, all right. There was another thing I was gonna. So we had the Blackshirts. There was one more thing. Oh, shout out to Fedoni and Bullock for making the roster. Shiloh got cut. Bullock made the roster. Crazy, flip from when he came on to Nebraska to being, on a roster as a linebacker in the NFL. Absolutely insane.
I'm not overly surprised by Jon Bullock. Of all the UDFAs that went out of Nebraska this past draft cycle, he was one that I wasn't confident would make a 53-man roster, but it doesn't surprise me because of how hard he worked at Nebraska. Keep in mind, he started as a safety, converts to a linebacker, 2 years ago? And started both years. I mean, he played phenomenal. I really like Jon Bullock. And even though he's a little undersized for your traditional NFL linebacker, he's going to be mostly on special teams. But that's a huge role in the NFL.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And like you'll get signed specifically just for special teams in the NFL.